2022. The Secretary of Defense established the Atomic Veterans Commemorative Service Medal and the Atomic Veterans Service Certificate. We are applying for his Atomic Veterans Commemorative Service Medal and Certificate. We are also exploring sharing Gary's letters and Mabel's scrapbook with the Smithsonian-affiliated Atomic Museum in Las Vegas, Nevada. Since the time of that video, we did apply for Gary's Atomic Veterans Service Certificate and received that along with his medal. Also since that time, Barb, Gary's wife, and Carrie's mom has since passed away. So her and Gary are now reunited. And so we did get the opportunity to share the certificate, the medal, as well as the letters one last time with the rest of the family. Which brings us to the current day and the donation of the letters to the Atomic Museum and Desert Research Institute in Las Vegas, Nevada. And it's a non-for-profit museum, although it is an affiliate of the Smithsonian Institute. It was fortunately open during the shutdown because it is a non-for-profit.
Once we're wrapped up too with like the donation and stuff, you guys are obviously welcome to just explore the museum.
Excellent.
Too. We appreciate your donation.
Really looking forward.
Joe gave me a little bit of context. He's actually out of town, but he said that was it your father-in-law? That
her dad,
my
yeah.
dad.
Your dad.
Yeah.
How interesting. So letters from Camp Desert Rock, right?
And pretty incredible to his mother right after, and it's on the letterhead with the exploding bomb.
Wow.
You'll see in a minute, but just incredible.
I'm thinking either by the gadget here or by Batman or whatever you want to do.
So this was my dad and his mom that he wrote the letters to. And then we threw in a letter from my mom. So that's the two of them. I think they were in high school. Yeah, so anyway, I just brought these. And then, of course,
wonderful
this is
too.
him
It shows the
in
backstory.
the army, right?
Yeah. Look at that.
Yeah. Yeah. Anyway, so
he was writing letters to her during his
so
time out here.
I have a whole box of letters that because well, back then you didn't call people.
No.
So he would write to her all the time. Sometimes it was like every day. So it was kind of crazy. Anyway, so this is with the.
Oh, look at that too. It's got the
Yeah.
little logo on the top and then the handwritten.
Right.
Yeah.
So if you can imagine, back in my hometown, Monmouth, Illinois, he just wrote her name, courthouse. That's where she worked. Isn't that crazy?
It'll get there.
Yeah.
Right, exactly. Like everybody knows who Mabel is, right? Yeah. So here's the letterhead.
Oh wow, yeah.
Isn't that amazing?
Yeah, it is amazing.
Yeah. So
It's so
anyway,
great.
so yeah,
personal
so
too.
I know. I showed it to some coworkers, and they're like, I don't even know how to write like that, like in cursive. People don't know how to write in cursive anymore. Anyway, so he talks about. He says, I'm headed back to my little wife in that damn Fort Bragg. I believe I'm about in the middle of Kansas, and by the time I finish this, I will be in Kansas City or vicinity. Well, Mother, I saw the atomic bomb last Friday. Wow. I might say it was from 7 miles, one of the prettiest things I have ever seen. I was one of a very few lucky people who got to fly in by helicopter, and believe it or not, I was standing under the exact spot the bomb went off in less than 20 minutes from the time it was dropped.
Wow.
I said it was pretty from 7 miles. That is where we were when the bomb was dropped from an airplane, which, by the way, was the first time it has been dropped from an airplane since the first 2 over Japan. Well, the results of the bomb is sure as hell not pretty. It does things like turn trucks over at 1,500 yards on open ground. That is more than 1 mile from the bomb. It is now chow time. I have to finish later. Here I am. They had many sheep posted throughout the area, and some of them weren't in too good a condition. But I sure don't know what else they could find to put out there. I believe if the Army showed me every month that they have this month, I'd stay in a while, but this was an exception. Anyway, so he talks about like seeing the Mormon temple from the station, Salt Lake City, and then he talks about going to Vegas, which he'll never forget, Las Vegas, Nevada. And he talks about, It's one of the places that you dream about and one that the movies are always portraying. They have the biggest, prettiest hotels and places to stay that one could ever imagine. They have an area called the Strip, which is on the outskirts of the city and is nothing but large gambling casinos, and combined with hotels and floor shows and lounges. I went in the city with $40 and it finally took me 12 hours to lose all of it, but the dice table finally sent me home broke. It took the damn city 12 hours to do it to a country hick, but they finally got it all, and I will never regret a moment of it. I really had more than $40 worth of an experience. Anyway, so he talks about where the movie stars go, and it cost us two and another officer $25.10, but it was sure fun. Isn't that
These are
funny?
Incredible. Yeah, and again, just really shows.
And the salutation, how he signs off.
Your loving son, Gary, all of 22 years.
Wow.
Yep.
22 years old on his own, seen atomic blasts, right?
Isn't that crazy?
Right at ground zero a few minutes later. That's
right.
Incredible.
Right.
These are fantastic.
Well, naturally, he didn't live very long. You know, he died when he was
I did look through the museum online. Seriously, it's in some of your displays. I mean, that would make an awesome display.
No, I agree. There's a
with that letterhead, it's incredible.
One of our curatorial folks has been talking about doing a Camp Desert Rock like exclusive exhibit in the coming year or two here. So hopefully that can come, and this would be a wonderful addition to it. And again, things with personal stories like this and connections to family, it's always sentimental for us, but even just for a general museum visitor to see a handwritten note to a loved one, from this experience that you have is just incredible.
I know, it's amazing, and the fact that it's on the letterhead.
Yes.
And obviously I made copies for me and my nephew, and
I was going to ask you that. So.
Yeah. I know, I made some copies, and then this was another one that he sent. So that one was dated in May of '53.
Okay.
And then this one is in April. So this is where, in this letter, again to his mom at the courthouse, right? So this is from Fayetteville, North Carolina. So on this one, he just talks about, he was always joking around with her. Big talk that this battalion will go to Yucca Flats about the 3rd of May, and that is where they are having their A-bomb tests. I suppose we will jump in on a few minutes after it went off. Some fun, huh?
He was 101st Airborne paratrooper. Yeah.
Oh wow.
Yeah. So anyway, so this is another letter. He talks about because he would jump out of planes, he would talk about a prop blast, and she didn't know what a prop blast was. So do you know what that is?
I'm not familiar.
No. So a prop blast, I guess, is when you're in a plane with propellers and you jump out of the plane. Once you jump out of the plane, the propellers shoot you back, right? And the first time that you do it is like initiation. And so then you have to take everybody out and buy them drinks that night.
And you get them prop blasted.
Right.
I see.
I see.
It becomes another term.
Exactly, yes.
Right,
and he describes it very sweetly. It's really great.
Yeah. So then, and then this was, so what they would do is, instead of mailing letters separately, they would just throw both of their letters in to my grandma. And so then this one is from my mom, talking about just like what she's doing. Because she's kind of by herself, and anyway, just it's just kind of sweet, I think, the way that they.
And he was a second lieutenant, and so he pulled duty over Easter, where he was in charge of the camp. And so she was kind of upset about it, and then so some people came over and invited them to a picnic, and that made everything okay.
Right, where they went out and cooked hot dogs and stuff like that, and it just was such a simpler time, really a simpler time.
Yes.
And so you see both sides of the story in the letters in the same envelope.
Yeah, exactly.
Right,
Yeah.
exactly.
Such a moment.
Right.
Yeah.
Yep. So anyway.
Oh, wonderful.
So yeah. I thought that they sort of belonged here.
Yes, thank you
Yeah,
for
so-
reaching out. It'll be a wonderful addition to our collection, and again, this
Yeah.
personal connection is,
Very good.
something that's wonderful for museums to be able
Yeah.
to show. Right?
Yeah, I think so.
Get that connection.
I told John, I said I wish that like sort of like the flip side of the Oppenheimer coin would be like a movie about just the soldiers that were there and
Yep.
kind of like how they experienced it and like how did that impact them and their families later
Exactly.
on and
Yes.
because I don't know if they knew what they were doing.
Yeah, I mean that's in the
We
early
don't
days
know.
of testing. Yeah,
Right.
They and I researched it for my first video and Oppenheimer is kind of what triggered this whole thing of looking into this. They were just swept off with brooms
Yeah. We have
as they
footage of
walked
that
off. Yeah.
place in the
Yeah.
museum and stuff
Oh,
too.
wow.
Again, this was a period of time, right? It wasn't just.
Yeah.
There were thousands of soldiers.
Yes.
in Camp Desert
Right.
Rock.
Right.
And yes, so you've got a relative that's jumping from planes right after this, or going to Ground Zero after that. So
Right.
yeah, there were lots of people doing different types of activities around these blasts.
Yeah.
And then the next thing he was scheduled to go to Korea, and then they signed the armistice like 2 weeks before he was supposed to go. So
Yeah.
he got spared that at least.
Right. That was sort of
Because I
crazy.
think it's in that letter that he talks about he wants to get some more jumps in before he has to go over. Yeah.
He loved it. He loved being a soldier. I think he loved it. Well, then he came home and he was a firefighter, and I think he just loved hanging with the guys.
Yeah. The camaraderie.
The whole like being a firefighter. He would in his spare time he would go hunting with his friends. I mean, he was just very like hanging with the dudes.
Yeah.
Kind
Just
of guy.
enjoyed that.
Yeah. It was just and that's how he paid for college too, was joining the army.
Was it?
I think that was kind of his way of paying for things. So.
Do you know in any of these photos where he might be?
Yeah.
So that's him there.
And this, what do you have here?
Okay.
That's-
So
yeah.
any time that they that my grandmother got a letter about my dad being in the army, she would like put it in this book. Like she documented his life like no one did. He was an only child, and so she just absolutely, the sun rose and set on him. So anything, even in high school, it was in a scrapbook. So I have multiple scrapbooks about my dad. Yeah. Anyway, so he's
in the dead center of this one.
Yeah, he's
Up in here.
in this one. Let me see here, because I found him. I can find him. There he is. He's right there.
Oh, up there at the top.
And then he's right on the fold right here.
Yeah, there you go. Once you see the smile, you can, you can find it again.
Yeah, because he had, like buck teeth, so he was kind of like easy to pick out. Yeah. Now that's not him. I don't know. That must have been a buddy of his.
buddy.
Yes, that was his
Yeah.
best friend who went to Vegas with him.
Was it?
And he was going to leave to go to officers or training, some sort of
Like
training,
officer
and
training?
your dad would have been take his place because your dad was a second lieutenant, he was a
Okay.
first lieutenant, and your dad would have been more in charge. And he's like, thank God he gave up on that idea, otherwise I'd be in charge.
Dad didn't like being in charge.
No.
He kept getting picked to be in charge, but that was not really his thing. He was like,
But yeah, he got a lot of commendations and stuff. And there's some things in here where he's being congratulated by a general. Oh, here it is. Yeah, this is his kind of. And of course, so Mabel put put it in the scrapbook.
Right, every article that was in a newspaper, she would put it in there. Let's see. Right, this is just basically saying we we confirm we're in charge of him and he'll be okay, right?
To have like a complete story like this of his time.
Outstanding trainee in his company, you know, like what?
Yeah, he was elevated
really
pretty
sweet.
quickly. I mean, he definitely had leadership skills.
Yeah. Yeah, so, yeah, she just kind of documented everything about his time.
Wow.
Yeah.
Well, it's wonderful, guys. Again, thank you for...
And so we offer Joseph anything he wants out of here, but he's like, well, right now just the letters. But if you do as a display and you want any of this, I mean, we have it, so you can contact us.
Certainly reach back out. If he wants to connect it a little further, with some photos and things, even if it's just scans.
Yeah.
That would be great. So the letters, again, all of it's incredible, but the letters are really, wonderful with the Camp Desert Rock and those
I know with the letterhead, it's pretty amazing. So
thank you for the donation.
Oh, you're very
On behalf of
welcome.
the museum, we really appreciate it.
You're very welcome. Thank you.
Did he say he had one?
Heard somewhere along the line they had something that they wore.
And he thought it was a piece of film?
something that was measuring, like measuring radiation. They thought too much about it.
Then they stopped making it because it had, I think, like radioactivity in it. So, you know,
And that's Fiesta ware?
Yeah. Uranium was used to provide the color of the glaze, so that Fiesta ware came up with 5 colors when it introduced in 1963. The red was the first color that the company selected.
yeah, anyway, so then they stopped making the red ones.